An unforgiving inferno, causes of wildfires and the path to prevention. The crackling of dry brush under the pressure of intense heat is a sound that has become all too familiar in Los Angeles. It echoes a grim reality. A city once synonymous with glitz and glamour now finds itself grappling with the destructive force of wildfires. These fires aren't mere accidents or acts of nature, but symptoms of a larger issue. They emerge from a perfect storm of environmental mismanagement, human carelessness, and climate change. In understanding the causes and imagining ways to prevent future catastrophes, we find ourselves not just addressing a natural disaster, but confronting the fragility of our relationship with the environment. The roots of the blaze, wildfires such as the recent infernos in Los Angeles, often trace their beginnings to a combination of human activity and natural conditions. Drought, one of the most prominent contributors, has turned the region into a tinderbox. Rainfall in Southern California has become sporadic, and prolonged dry periods sap moisture from plants and soil. Vegetation, instead of being a green, thriving part of the ecosystem, turns into kindling. Adding to this natural vulnerability are the infamous Santa Ana winds. These hot, dry winds sweep across the landscape, fanning even the smallest spark into an uncontrollable blaze. The winds don't just spread flames, they carry burning embers across vast distances, creating new fires miles away from the original source. This means that even a tiny ignition can quickly escalate into a massive disaster. The role of climate change cannot be overstated. Rising global temperatures have intensified the frequency and severity of droughts, creating conditions where wildfires thrive. As the planet warms, the fire season has lengthened, turning what was once a seasonal threat into a year-round crisis. Los Angeles, with its unique geography and vegetation, is particularly vulnerable. Yet not all causes are natural. Human activity, whether accidental or intentional, plays a significant role. A discarded cigarette, a poorly managed campfire, or even sparks from power lines can ignite dry vegetation. In some cases, arsonists have deliberately started fires, driven by motives that are as destructive as the fires themselves. The human cost. The devastation wrought by wildfires extends far beyond the physical destruction of homes and landscapes. Lives are uprooted, communities displaced, and ecosystems destroyed. For many, the psychological toll is just as severe as the physical loss. The fear of losing everything to an unpredictable blaze haunts families, especially those who live in high-risk areas. Wildfires also exacerbate existing inequalities. Wealthier communities can often afford better fireproofing measures, insurance, and evacuation options, while poorer neighborhoods are left more vulnerable. For those who lose their homes and belongings, the road to recovery is long and fraught with challenges, especially when insurance claims and rebuilding costs become overwhelming. Beyond human suffering, wildfires leave a scar on the environment. Trees that took decades to grow are reduced to ash in minutes, wildlife habitats are destroyed, and air quality plummets as smoke and particulates fill the atmosphere. The ecological impact is profound and lasting, affecting not just local ecosystems but global carbon levels as well. Turning the tide, prevention and preparedness. While we cannot completely eliminate the risk of wildfires, there are tangible steps that individuals, communities, and governments can take to reduce their occurrence and impact. Prevention begins with understanding that the responsibility lies with everyone. From policymakers to everyday citizens, each has a role to play. 1. Personal responsibility. Individuals can take simple but effective steps to minimize the risk of starting fires. Properly extinguishing campfires, avoiding outdoor burning during high-risk periods, and being cautious with cigarettes can prevent accidental ignitions. Homeowners in fire-prone areas can create defensible space by clearing flammable vegetation around their properties and using fire-resistant building materials. 2. Community action. Neighborhoods and local governments can invest in fire prevention measures such as controlled burns and vegetation management. Controlled burns, though counterintuitive, are essential in reducing the fuel available for wildfires. By intentionally burning dry vegetation in a controlled environment, we can prevent larger, uncontrolled fires. Additionally, creating fire breaks, gaps in vegetation that stop the spread of fire, can protect communities from advancing flames. 3. Infrastructure and utility management. Utility companies have a significant role to play. Power lines are a common source of wildfires, especially during high winds. Regular maintenance, upgrading infrastructure, and shutting off power during extreme fire weather conditions can reduce the risk. Governments can also invest in early warning systems and improve firefighting capabilities, ensuring that communities are alerted and equipped to respond quickly. 4. Policy and advocacy. At the state and national levels, policies must prioritize wildfire prevention and climate action. Stricter regulations on land use, funding for firefighting resources, and incentives for fireproof construction can make a significant difference. Addressing climate change is critical. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions and transitioning to renewable energy sources can mitigate the underlying conditions that make wildfires more likely. 5. Community education. Awareness campaigns can educate people about the risks and responsibilities associated with living in fire-prone areas. By understanding evacuation protocols, emergency preparedness, and the importance of fire-safe practices, communities can better protect themselves and their neighbours. 6. Supporting nature's recovery. After a wildfire, efforts should focus on restoring ecosystems and preventing erosion. Reforestation programs can help rebuild lost habitats, while measures to protect watersheds can ensure clean water supplies for affected regions. Allowing nature to heal, while also managing human impact, is essential for long-term recovery. Looking ahead. As the smoke clears and the flames subside, the question remains, what will we do differently? Will we continue to rebuild without addressing the root causes, or will we seize the opportunity to create a safer, more sustainable future? Wildfires will not wait for us to decide. They will continue to burn, fueled by dry winds and hotter climates. But with collective effort and determination, we can break the cycle. We can protect our homes, our communities, and our planet from the ravages of an unforgiving inferno. The time to act is now, not in the aftermath of the next disaster.